I'm not gonna get into songwriting rules like that, but when I met you, you were like, I want to use my music to educate and to like push my message. Every one of your songs is doing just that. But really, think back to what you just said. Now, you're in this environment, you're in the synagogue, you have this choir, and you've just written a rap song, and you realize you can bring rap to your community right there
Yeah,
because it gives you that opportunity, which effectively is what you are. It's like the birth of the Rivir hip hop version of you today. Kind of ties into like that moment almost.
origin story. Da-da-da!
That's
Yeah,
awesome. How old were you when that happened? Like 13, 14 ish?
yeah, just around that age, and it was yeah, it was very interesting also because um, I mean my like first raps were were listening to hip hop, listening, and then I'd like come up with like 50 rhymes to one word and just rhyme down the page. And like, it was very, I didn't have a sense of bar structure or anything like that. It was just, wow, how many multi-syllabic rhymes can I string together nonsensically? Um, and that song that I performed was a moment where I toned down on the complexity of it, and I just told like a biblical story. And that choir was I don't know if you know Reverend Gray. He's um, he's like very important in the Montreal Black community, basketball community, and so like it was with his choir. Um, I that the song that I had made was about kind of the chorus of it brought kind of an old choir, black choir song like "Oh down Moses, let my people go." So like I was able to merge those worlds together with with that, and then also it was just this moment where instead of trying to impress people with the rhymes or the wittiness, I was just telling a story, and that was such an amazing moment for me in being able to use music intentionally and with like a utilitarian end goal. And so yeah, that was a great moment also, um, where I felt, oh, there's actually there's a platform for it. Going back to what we were saying at the beginning, you have purpose for music. You have the club song where it's about the vibe, or you have the hippie music where it's about a social cause. And then yeah, for me, up until that point, hip hop was an Olympics. It was using verbal gymnastics in a way to stretch words and meaning in fun frivolity. But that was a moment when I realized it doesn't have to just be limited to that. And furthermore, I can I can use it not just, I mean, like a lot of hip hop, I had dissonance with it because, wow, this is incredible, incredible wordplay. This is incredible ideas, but the content uh, was aggressive. The content was violent or portraying a lifestyle that wasn't my own, and I felt I do I emulate the form and then shift it into kind of like my own world, or do I like what do I do with this dissonance that had built up? And so that for me, that was also a moment where I said I can I can allow other people to tell their life stories, and and not feel like I need to appropriate another person's life in order to fit in into the hip hop world. But I can tell my own life story, and just really appreciate hip hop culture, um, without feeling like I'm I'm stomping on someone else's territory, or or adopting uh, another history that isn't my own. But valuing it and also seeing shared elements of it. Where does that deep emotional strife come from? And there are so many elements of that um, in in Jewish history, in my grandmother's Holocaust story. In some of my songs, telling my grandmother's Holocaust story is feels like hip hop. It's not the it's not it's I never chopped. I never, that wasn't part of my story, but but being part of like an oppressed people and kind of um, being being subjugated for your identity without any consent towards allowing someone else to demonize, belittle, and dehumanize. That experience is a shared experience, and that anger, that disappointment in society, all of those emotions define hip hop. That pain, that the scar tissue of that is on the needle of every vinyl.